There are moments when nothing is obviously wrong, but something doesn't feel right either. Not sharp, not overwhelming, just heavier than usual. And if you pause for a second, you've probably felt that recently. You're still going through your day, responding, speaking, doing what needs to be done. And from the outside, everything looks normal. But internally, there's weight. Quiet, subtle, but present. And because it's not obvious, you might try to move past it. Tell yourself it's nothing, that you should just get on with things. But it doesn't really leave. It stays in the background. Pause for a moment. Right now, don't try to explain it. Don't try to fix it. Just notice it. Because this feeling might not mean something is wrong. It might mean something hasn't fully settled yet. Think about what your mind has been holding. Conversations that didn't quite land. Moments you moved past too quickly. Things you felt but didn't really sit with. Not because you avoided them, but because there wasn't space. And when those things don't process, they don't disappear. They remain as weight. Not dramatic, not overwhelming, but real. You might notice it in small ways. Less emotional space than usual. Less patience. Less clarity in how you feel. Or in moments where you stop and quietly think, something feels off, but I don't know why. And that uncertainty can feel uncomfortable because we're used to knowing, naming things, understanding what we feel and why. But not everything arrives that way. Some things just need space first. Take a breath. Not to control it, just to notice it. You don't need to define everything right now. You don't need to understand every feeling immediately. You don't need to resolve everything to begin feeling lighter. Just allow yourself to acknowledge that something is there. Without pushing it away. Without forcing it to make sense. If your mind starts analyzing it, that's okay. Just bring it back, gently. There may be a part of you that wants to move on. To feel lighter again. To return to how things were. And another part of you that is still holding something that hasn't settled yet. And when those two parts exist together, it creates tension. because you're trying to move forward while something inside you is still catching up. Maybe you don't need to rush that. Maybe this isn't something to fix. Maybe it's something to allow. I may not feel heavy because something is wrong. I might feel heavy because something hasn't settled yet. I don't need to force clarity, to allow things to process. I am allowed to feel without needing to explain everything. If your mind drifted just now, that's okay. Just bring it back, without judgment. You don't need to carry this at full intensity. You can let it exist without it taking over. Notice your body, even slightly. Let your shoulders soften if they can. Let your breathing settle naturally. Nothing here needs to be forced. Because emotional weight doesn't reduce through pressure. It reduces when there is space. Space to feel. Space to process. Space to not rush to an answer. And even a small amount of space can begin to change how it feels. Not instantly, but gradually. I'm allowed to feel without turning it into a problem. I may not need to understand everything to feel lighter. Clarity can come when I stop forcing it. You don't need to stay here forever. Just long enough for something to ease, even slightly. And when that feeling returns, you can come back.